NWM Podcast. Just would like to let you know that Indie Wrestling Show is brought to you in association with the Babyface app, available on the Google Store and the Apple Store. Now, what is the Babyface app? Well, if you're a British wrestling fan, it is the only thing that matters. Want to check out what the latest shows are in your area? The Babyface app can do that. Want to check out the win-loss record for your favourite wrestler at the moment? The Babyface app can do that. Do you want to bring back the glory that was the Origin Banter Edition? Sadly, Babyface haven't got that kind of sorted out yet. Imagine it's in the beta stage, I can be assured. But if you want to check out any of their matches from Progress or anywhere else past, you can check it out at the Babyface app. Also, you can read loads of articles from loads of esteemed wrestling personnel, including ourselves, TWM. You can check out all of our BritWres articles in one easy place, and that is the Babyface app on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. Hello, I am Matty Deller and welcome to the Indie Wrestling Show, bringing you the world of graps that is at your doorstep, covering things from the UK, USA and around the world. And if you are British wrestling inclined, may we suggest that you go download the Babyface app. They are friends of the show, so we show them a little bit of love, and you can check out some of our latest articles over on the Babyface app, available on the Apple and Google Play Store. I do believe the Curtis Chapman article will be up very, very soon, hopefully. If you want to go get some wrestling swag, check out squaredcirclebots.com. Use the code DWMnews at squaredcirclebots.com for 10% off your first order. We have got a lot to discuss today, so without any haste, I'm going to introduce my two independent wrestling cohorts, comrades and colleagues. First of all, Mike Mears.
What's up? I'm not choking this week.
Good. I will see if we can cope with this dramatic change from the last few weeks of podcasting. And Kyle James.
I'm just getting over a cold, so don't breathe on me.
Would it be the other way round? Do you breathe on us?
No, well, I'm over it now, so me breathing on people isn't going to be a thing. If people breathe on me, I don't want it back.
No one suck Kyle's air, because it will make you feel ill. Anyway, let's not get into any tangents. We've got a lot to discuss. Pay-per-views, events, shenanigans, people coming over here, other things, stuff. We're going to get into it, and we're going to start off with a cheeky bit of pay-per-view action. Now, I'm not sure whether to say this is the first pay-per-view of the new NWA era, because they had the pop-up event and the 70th anniversary show and stuff, but I'm going to say it's the first proper pay-per-view of this NWA era. Into the Fire, and I don't think it's going to be a shock to many people if you saw our Twitter or you've seen some reviews, but I think as a group, we bloody love this show.
How can you not?
It was tremendous and very concise. I believe I said on the TLC podcast on Monday, if you check out TWM Talks this week, I said the best way to enjoy your wrestling this week is to watch the pre-show, watch the kickoff show on WWE, watch the first two matches, turn it off, and then watch Into the Fire. It's around about the same runtime, and you'll enjoy yourself more. Before we get into the show, I'm going to ask some thoughts. Mike, thoughts on the debuting partnership of Joe Galli and Stu Bennett? Personally, I love them. I think Stu fit in like a glove, and they immediately became one of my favourite commentary duos because I think they just bounced off each other really, really well. Really impressed for a debut showing.
All I'm going to say is, you know, in life when you're about to say something and then somebody butts in and says exactly what you were going to say?
Yeah.
That's what you just did.
Oh, okay. So you...
like, I completely agree on that. Like, they just seem to be having, like, Stu's really seemed to be having a lot of fun with it and wasn't really... You know, like WWE, you get that very much that, you know, the commentators are forced to say things or there's things they can't say. They were very much just a case of just... As long as it makes sense, just say it and let it flow and see how you get on.
Yeah, we are getting seeming like a spate of really good analytical kind of I want to say more kind of recent or current wrestler commentators. I mean, Samoa Joe on Raw has been a revelation over the last few weeks. And Stu Bennett is another one who's kind of just come in after leaving the wrestling business. I want to say 2-3 years ago. It can't be that. I don't think it's that long since he kind of stepped away from actual in-ring action. and he's fitting into this commentary situation beautifully. I also with Kyle talked to you about the staging, because they used the same arena, the same setup as the TV shows, but they changed it up a little bit when it comes to where the wrestlers came from, and changed up the entrances by giving them themes. And it's amazing how they made the same building with the same setup look and feel completely different.
No, genuinely, just by having people coming downstairs, which was very Lucha Underground of them, it just seemed to be a lot more hype behind it. I don't know why, rather than just being like, yes, a curtain, yes, that person. It was more like, oh, we're going to make these entrances feel a little bit special with the music, the whole different dynamic of it.
Yeah, it was one of the ones where I feel like if they could just like set dress that building differently every time they've got a pay-per-view, I don't see why they'd have to leave the TV studio.
Next time they'll be popping up from behind the commentary desk.
Yeah, from behind the Mongrovian oak. They'll be there.
Mongrovian spruce.
Either way. And then...
I've just got to say, sorry, I cannot wait until Stu Bennett tells us that question mark was on Love Island.
He was on Mongrovian Love Island. He won it every year in a row, apart from the year they had the coal shortage. Let's start off with the opening match. Eli Drake over Mr. Anderson. This sounds like a dig, but it's really not. This was so much better than I thought it would be. It was really, really good.
I had high hopes for it because it seemed a really solid card overall.
These are two other guys who've got perhaps one of the more experienced backgrounds, and it feels weird saying that, but with TV wrestling, so they probably knew what they were going to do going into it. Working the angles, working the cameras, working the time they had.
My kind of main thing I was shocked I was with it, because it was two guys that are veterans, they know what they're doing, and I thought, well, it's going to be it's probably going to be quite methodical, it's going to be a slower TV pay-per-view wrestling pace, but these guys proper went. Some of the sequences they were doing were very New Japan, very indie wrestling, and it was just really, really enjoyable. The finish came when Drake went for the gravy train, but Anderson rolled through to take the powerbomb off the buckles, and a spot I've not seen before, where Drake just dropped all his weight down and rolled him up, which was a really nice little unique spot. I've never seen that before.
I quite liked it. It was genuinely one of the best things he could have done. Anderson had no momentum, so he was like, yeah, I'll just sit on you.
I'll just teabag you and get the win.
I was going to say teabag, but I was like, no, this is slightly family show today. We're talking about a more PG product later on.
Champion and challenger in the main event were interviewed by Dave Marquez. The NWA champion Nick Aldis puts over the NWA and vowing to defeat his challenger. James Storm cuts a promo saying at the end of the night that Aldis would know he's in the ring with one of the toughest SOBs ever, and promised he was going to win the championship. Goes without saying, because NWA are probably the best promo company around at the moment. They've just got knocking amazing promos all the time out the park, and they're both very, very good. Before the show, they announced the signing of Tasha Steelz to the NWA, which is very, very interesting, because obviously that deal with Ring of Honor is off, but I do believe she's still kind of on a Ring of Honor deal. I believe she's on the next set of tapings from Final Battle. But like, she makes her debut here, and she got a promo about how she's adding flavour to the NWA, and this show was appropriately named Into the Fire because she'd be bringing the Latina heat. Now, me and Mike would have spoke on a previous podcast when she made her debut that how good Tasha Steelz actually was. She impressed both of us on an episode of Ring of Honor, so it was great to see her here. But in all fairness, Mike, she was used as kind of glorified enhancement talent for Thunder Rosa.
In ring, yeah, but they did let her actually get herself over. It's not like she didn't get the typical and already in the ring job. She got a chance to get her character over and who she was, and then is clearly going to start from the bottom and work her way up. It was
very, very similar to when they debuted Evan Bourne in WWE CW, and they had him basically debut as a guy that got fed to Shelton Benjamin, and then a week after he was a main roster guy, and it was like, well, it's an interesting way of doing it. Thunder Rosa started doing the ground and pound on Steelz after the bell. She won with a double stomp. Naturally, Vox made the save. Rosa then attacked Vox and injured her shoulder, and Stu Bennett and Joe Galli speculated this will put her place in the tag match later on tonight in question. Then we get to the question mark coming out with Aaron Stevens, who's now in a full gi and says that he's a third Dan in Mongrovian karate.
Correct pronunciation.
And they performed the Mongrovian flag ceremony, which is obviously a serious and important ceremony, as they sang the Mongrovian national anthem.
It proves how important the question mark is to his country, in the fact that, you know, he's taken the symbol of the question mark, which is so revered within Monrovia. So
yes,
it'd be like any Welsh wrestler, you know, using a dragon.
Yeah,
being a dragon.
Are you saying that? Are you implying that maybe the question mark is Mongrovian's answer to Danny Jones?
Potentially.
Or Eddie Dennis, Pride of Wales, Pride of Monrovia.
Oh, there's a match. Look at you cowards. Unboxing for the Progress title, Eddie Dennis versus the question mark. Flag match. Fucking flag match.
7 stars.
Let's get a flag match going, lads.
Can we get Hacksaw in there as well, finally?
What, just 4 corners? Just 4-cornered flag match. Then we had the question mark over Trevor Murdoch, and this was just a big, bruising, big boy match with a lot of high-impact moves. Nothing flashy, but all effective. Murdoch is a spiny boy, but then he grabs the Mongrovian flag and drops it on the floor. How dare you! In Monrovia, that is 20 years in the salt mines.
I did actually have to stop and sort of cry for at least 6 hours after seeing that happen.
It's just... I mean, like, Jericho kicking the Brazilian flag was one thing, but this is heinous. It's just horrible. Luckily, Murdoch only got away with a double Mongrovian spike for the victory. He'll be lucky the Mongrovian police does not catch him, because they will be merciless. At least he got a measure revenge by hitting him with a double Mongrovian spike. I can't wait for him to do the triple, where it's just both hands and feet. Like ultimate punch in Hot Rod, just...
No, it's almost as if he's playing Twister or something. Right hand throat.
So what we're saying is we want Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Eddie Dennis, and the question mark in a 3-way Twister flag match for the Progress title unboxing. It writes its fucking self. Then we get to the NWA World Tag Team title match as the Rock and Roll Express go over the wild card. Ricky Morton did a Canadian Destroyer. All you need to know, to be honest, in this. Rock and Roll Express came to the ring alongside Homicide and Eddie Kingston, and the wild cards brought the Dawsons with them. Like, Mike, this was pretty quick, but it did the job. It was every Rock and Roll Express tag match you've ever seen, pretty much. It
was never going to be a 25-minute fucking indie-rific near-fall match, was it?
We got 2 dives in the Canadian Destroyer from a 60-year-old man. It's all we wanted.
Yeah, we even got the hot tag as well, so, you know, that's...
I mean, could you get more indie?
Well, they did invent...
Yeah, any more rock and roll.
Yeah. I did the results. I had to write in Ricky tagged Robert. Also, the challengers worked for Ricky Morton to the shock of millions across the world.
Basically,
Outlaw Inc.
I found it funny that, like, when the Rock and Roll Express were coming out, how almost like Eddie Kingston wasn't expecting to come out at that point, because he found that moment to tape his fists up.
Yeah, I was like, did he expect... It's like, I'm not shocked at Eddie Kingston. I was like, did he expect a little tear up here? He's like, well, take my fist up. I'm not here just to watch a match. I'm Eddie Kingston. I'm going to have a fight.
Changed like an 8-man tag.
Eddie was not expecting to take his grandparents to the home that day.
End up in a...
You know what the soup kitchens in Yonkers are like?
Nasty. Yeah, they hit the double drop kick for the win. It was really, really fun. We didn't get a big announcement that they're having another pay-per-view in January. Like, they're not messing around. Literally one a month. And they're bringing...
Actually a reason why.
Bringing back the NWA World Television Championship. Is the reason they're bringing the belt back, or are they doing pay-per-views a month because it's just easy to do? They've maybe got a block booking in that place. What's your reasoning for them doing monthly pay-per-views, if they do?
The reason is because reasons.
Not necessarily monthly, but I'll tell you at the end.
Okay, fair enough. NWA World Television Championship. Kyle, who do you think should win it?
Not gonna lie, just because of how entertaining that he's been lately. it's got to be Eli Drake.
I could hear Mike saying, "You're saying the question mark, right?" It's going to be the question mark.
The question mark's going to be the first and second holder of the title, because he's going to do a Chico Al Luchador, and he's going to give it up and then win it in a second tournament.
Just forever tournaments, just to constantly win the belt.
On the same night.
For me, I think they might give it... I reckon it could be Drake or Anderson that end up being the first TV champion.
Hang on, can I change mine? Wild card pick.
Yeah.
Genuinely...
It's a singles title, not a tag team.
Fuck up, Mike. No. We'll get into why I think this possibly later. But he's been impressive throughout the whole thing, like, of NWA lately. And lots of people seem to love him. Ricky Starks as well. Yeah,
I do reckon he needs a belt, to be fair. And that'd be a good one for him. Eli Drake then comes out and cuts a promo on Nick Aldis, saying even though he was in James Storm's camp, he didn't really care who comes out on top, as he wants dibs on the next title shot. Anderson then attacked Eli Drake, chair necking and hitting a mic check into the open chair. And this was my real biggest complaint from the whole show, was like, who's heel in this again? I thought Drake was the heel, but apparently it's Mr. Anderson now. Was it a double turn? I'm very confused.
All I know is Crimson was wearing a suit again.
Yeah, he was, because apparently he's a road agent for the NWA, which is incredibly strange.
I thought it was a double turn, if any.
Yeah, maybe. Well, then it depends. Maybe they turned it because they realised that Drake is just over with the crowd.
Yeah.
So.
And Anderson's got the whole, like, oh, well, he's an asshole, he can, like, do this.
Yeah.
Get away with it.
That's fair enough. The women's champion Alison Kay came out on her own. I like the way they did this, because you had them come out, you had Melina and Marty Bell then come out, and then Dave's like, Dave Marquez just goes, oh, wait a minute, we do have a partner for you, and it's ODB. Hey, she's getting around again post food truck. So it looks like she's in the NWA, but this is a perfect fit for her. I know that she's been shoehorned into the Impact World titles, like women's title scene, but yeah, NWA I think is a perfect fit for her. Like these guys, they're building a very good very good roster of experienced talent with very young guys, like with the likes of, you got Marty Bell, you got ODB, Alison Kay, and then you've got people like Ashley Vox and Tasha Steelz and Thunder Rosa on the come up, and it's just, yeah, really, really good.
Say on the come up, they seem to be a lot higher on Thunder Rosa than they are on a lot of others.
Yeah, she's like she's the person who's probably going to beat Alison Kay for the belt. I hope it's not Melina, because this match was okay, but my God, Melina has forgotten how to wrestle.
Not gonna lie, the only time that I remember actively seeing Melina wrestle was last year in 2018 at Chaos. And I wasn't even there for it, but I heard everyone was like, oh, Melina didn't do much. The whole thing was like, Sierra Lox didn't get anything. Melina did a lot more of the moves, and I was like, well, Melina was kind of there to be a star attraction and help put the young up-and-coming talent over by basically having a legend endorse them. But this is different. This is just a legend who is there because they wanted the legend. And she's not putting anyone over. She's there to wrestle.
And yeah, like I said, I'm not crazy that Melina was a very good wrestler, like back in day. She was very, very good. But my God, she just did not seem in place at all with any of these guys. It was a complete kind of mishmash. Everyone hit their finishers, and then ODB hit the BAM on Bell. I would have preferred Marty Bell and Rosa against Kay and ODB, or even my idea of Vox turning with ODB making the save and making it a tag match that way.
They still have the Vox turn down the line, though.
Yeah,
this way.
That's fair.
There's still something in that, and their women's division is still quite thin. You don't want to make it too heel heavy. Yes,
that's actually true as well. So I think the AEW suffer from that. They've got a lot of heel females and not a lot of female faces.
My only gripe with that would be, currently all of the villainous females are a faction working together. If you were going to do that, you'd need to bring in a couple more females and have some singles people go in on their own.
Yeah.
But then we might see Thunder Rosa eventually break out, because she's the one doing singles.
Then we get to the national title match, Aaron Stevens over Colt Cabana and Ricky Starks. This was really, really good, Mike. I thought this was put together really well. Told a really good story. Stevens getting beaten down by Cabana and Starks. I did love that then Aaron Stevens hid behind the Mongrovian, not pine, spruce, and then also under some kind of blanket that he felt.
Well, he's not a stupid wrestler. He's a very, very smart wrestler. So why is he going to just overexert himself when the other two can just do all that for him?
I'm not gonna lie, lads, I genuinely just thought they decorated for Christmas.
Oh yeah, they did.
I love it, Jen.
In particular,
What was the Christmas tree from Monrovia?
Yeah, he said it was a
Mongrovian spruce.
It was a gift from the question mark to the NWA because he's a kind and benevolent fellow.
What a nice punctuation statement.
Cabana went for the Superman pin on Starks, but I don't know whether it was on purpose that he ended up pushing so far that his hands were all over the ropes, so the pin wouldn't have counted anyway.
He was halfway out the bloody ring.
Yeah.
It was a bit like kind of ruins the aesthetic of it all.
Question mark then appears and hits him with a Mongrovian spike. He then held Starks back as Stephen pins Cabana to win the belt. I'm happy Stephen's the national champion, but they need to keep it on him for a while now because they've hot potatoed that belt around for a while.
Too much.
Yeah.
That's what I said last week. They need to keep it on someone for a long period now.
Yeah.
Potentially is they keep it on Stevens for a long time and they turn the question mark face down the line and he wins it.
Yeah, I would reckon that makes sense.
I say turn him face. Split them up, I should say.
Also, I've just got to say, the crowd split for Colt Cabana and Ricky Starks as well, with all the heel heat going on to Aaron Stevens. I would not count either of those out, possibly in a line for another match against Stevens.
I reckon they'll continue the Ricky Starks, Aaron Stevens stuff. I think Cabana's going to go for that TV title now, and he'll, I reckon he'll go far in that. Tim Storm cuts a promo, pretty standard face promo hype in the NWA. Then we get to the main event, which I was like, I watched this live after dinner with friends after a day of being extremely hungover from a work party, and was like, I'll try and stay up to watch the NWA. It starts at 11, like maybe go on until 2, and then it gets to like 1 o'clock and it's like, it is time for your main event, and I'm like, oh, this is lovely. 2.5 hour pay-per-view. I'm well happy.
It's almost like there was a really, really big UFC show that night. Just saying.
NWA title, 2 out of 3 falls. Nick Aldis over James Storm to retain the belt. 2 falls to 1. This was an interestingly booked. I didn't mind it though. So Brian Hebb, the referee for the first fall. These guys chain wrestled for a while, and then James Storm went, surprise, motherfucker, and then Camille came out. This distracted Aldis, and James Storm hit the last call super kick for the win, and Camille left.
What a bitch.
It was an odd situation, but it happened.
She's our favourite selective mute, and now she's deciding who to be mute for, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be Aldous anymore.
Yeah, this does seem... The whole storyline is basically that Camille almost controls the entire NWA landscape at the moment, so...
Do you reckon Camille is the anonymous general manager, and her whispering is just, yeah, you need to do this now?
That's it.
No, she is actually the one that controlled GTV.
She's the Prime Minister of Monrovia. That's the rumour I've heard.
I'm not gonna lie, Mike said GTV, and my first thought was GMTV.
yes, she is secretly Eamon Holmes. Tim Storm is now the referee for Fall 2. They brawl around ringside, including Storm getting thrown into the Mongrovian spoos at commentary. 40 years in the salt mines.
He should have been disqualified immediately of both remaining falls. He should be suspended. He should be fined 70 years of wages and then shot.
In that order.
Ideally, in that order.
How many hours did you cry after this? Did you have to stop the pay-per-view?
I haven't seen past this point.
Oh, you're still crying now?
He's still crying now.
Yeah.
I have combat like TV for showing such a heinous desecration of a beautiful botanical growth.
Okay, so for Christmas, I'm just going to buy you those sunglasses with windscreen wiper so your tears will dry.
Yeah, because we're going to see you tomorrow. We're going to see. Sorry, Nee just messed up time. We're seeing you right now at Attack, and you're still crying. These two going back and forth. James Storm grabbed a chair. Tim Storm was like, no, you cheeky boy. And then he countered a pin attempt into an inside cradle to level up. Here we go. Coin toss. We're going to get the screw job. We're going to have Tim Storm be the referee, and he's going to fuck over James Storm. Oh no, the ref's Brian Hebner.
Double-sided coins.
Yeah.
Who could have them?
What a shock. Yeah, although it did make me laugh, the ref that did the coin toss almost dropped the coin.
Yeah, he tried. You got to have the level of that guy. The guy in the, was it German league, did the coin toss and then flicked it back up into his hand and grabbed it, just smooth as you like.
Yeah, but as we found out, it made no difference anyway.
Yep, we did. We still kind of got what we thought anyway. So Aldous hit a superplex. Storm locked in the figure four. Aldous hit his big elbow drop, and no one could pick up the win. Aldous then twats Brian Hebner with a clothesline after Storm ducks. The other Tim Storm, or the other Storm, Tim Storm, made his way down to the ring and ended up becoming the official. Storm hit another last call, and Aldous managed to pull the turnbuckle cover off the middle buckle, and then as he kicked out of the pin, the momentum of that pin sent Storm into the buckle, knocking him out. Aldous locked in the King's Lynn Cloverleaf, and the Tim Storm called for the bell as James Storm was knocked out. So Aldous wins in a bit of a shitty way, but I think this was interestingly booked, but it worked with the feud, Mike.
Yeah, I like the fact that Aldous, as much as he's like 60% of face, 40% of heel, he's just managed to squeak by in that title defense.
Yeah,
so it's not like he's gone over really well or they've made James Storm look bad. They're like, if anything, I think they did like a double turn in this match as well, where Storm leaving how he left was amazing. Literally being carried out and acknowledging the crowd, and then Aldous going on and having his promo.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it reminded me of, and I'm not sure whether you guys would have actually been watching this product back in the day, because this was, I think, 5 or 6 years ago. It was like really reminiscent of back when he was in TNA or Impact, and it was the paper champion kind of thing.
Oh, the whole Dixie Carter thing.
Yeah, always finding like those little ways to remain as champ no matter what it was.
Yes, long live Dixieland. I remember that.
Yeah. Also, I just really enjoy the fact that for all of the fact that he's on about like the world title is the only title that matters, and he seems to be all about like the big respect, big hyping up the NWA and its championship. He is the snakiest mother effer to ever try and hold that belt. I
like this. I like the whole story of Aldous trying to be the face of the NWA, being this like triumphant champion, but in reality he's as sneaky and slippery as the next man. They're working on this quite well. It's a nice little bit of world building for Aldous.
It seems he walks this lonely road, the only road that he has ever known.
And he walks alone. Yeah.
I walk alone.
Nick Aldis cut a promo saying the NWA belonged to him and the fans. He said there's not a man alive that could take the bell away from him. The lights went out, and then...
Dun, dun.
This was all too hauntingly familiar.
Yeah, Marty Skirler pit. And generally, I did not see a single thing about this rumoured online. So this was a massive shock.
Suddenly, unboxing has come early.
Hey, mate, he's meant to be doing one big indie. I wonder who it's going to be. Yeah, like I did not see this coming at all. Like, obviously, I watched this live. I don't think you guys did, but this is a huge shock and a massive get for the NWA.
But do we actually know if he has signed anything long term?
I don't even care if it's a signing. At this point, I'm just happy to get a rematch from the two of them from the Bucket Cup.
Yeah, like, I'm not bothered whether it's an... If he has decided to sign with the NWA, that is a very bold move from Skull, and clearly he's still hammering home of he wants to be the figurehead of a promotion. He tried it in Ring of Honor, it didn't work, and he knows if he goes to AEW, that he's going to be basically one of a many. Where I think he wants to lead a company and be the forefront of a company, and I think now any hope of him signing with AEW is probably out the window for the foreseeable, because
I'll say this as well, with Marty going to the NWA, do you reckon that those behind AEW who are so close with him, they might not see it as a total loss because he's still very closely linked with them. And now, if he decides to go in a future point, he's basically made a name for himself across every major independent.
Yeah, I feel like he will go to AEW eventually, but I think at least for the next year or two, I don't think he is. I feel like he's gonna. I'm hoping that he's doing NWA. Maybe I don't know. He's on the spoilers. He does make a small appearance on the Ring of Honor tapings over the next month or so. So whether that means that he's about or he's not about, we don't know. But it remains to be seen. But I'm hoping that he does NWA and then maybe comes back and does like a year of working British wrestling again before deciding what he's next.
The NWA is getting increasingly British as well.
Yes, it is. You got a British commentator, and it looks like your big main event's going to be two British guys as well.
And I quite enjoy that because it ties into the whole thing, them having like the world title for world's best athletes.
Yeah, and it all works. Like Skull stared down with Aldis as the show drew to a close. One of my favourite events this year. I really, really enjoyed this show. Like I said, it's 2.5 hours. It's a breeze to watch. It goes by so fast. I was shocked when I realised it was the main event. Nothing really dragged. Even like you have to nitpick to find things you didn't particularly like. I felt. I think we all highly recommend this.
We've all hyped up the NWA for ages, and now with the possibility of Skrull and Aldis, two guys who have grown up training together. They may have branched out into like separate places, but their paths have always interlinked, and now weirdly it's come full circle. So I feel this is the perfect time to get on the NWA bandwagon because you're going to see two best friends who are also bitter rivals giving it their all to try and either retain a championship or win it.
There's one person left missing though, out of the three pillars of Norfolk wrestling, and it goes.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say of the British invasion. I was like, Doug's retired. Are you on about Rob Terry?
Aldis, Skrull, Schmitty. Game over there. He can ref that main event in the NWA. We're starting it now. Hashtag Schmitty for NWA. Book it, you cowards. This past Sunday, Progress had their 99th chapter at nearly 100, which was called With a Fake Please, down at the O2 Academy in Sheffield. And Kyle, you were there. You existed during this show.
No, I'm an apparition.
You were an apparition during this show. How was it?
Really good. That's probably why I'm not here in body, but just in spirit.
He left his body by the side of Cara Noir and Ilya Dragunov, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll quickly just run through all the matches and give us your thoughts. Mark Andrews over Primate. Interesting opening contest. Andrews emo face.
Edgelord Heel versus Beastie Babyface.
Who will win? One Edgelord emo or one Harambe boy? Who came out on top?
Well, quite literally came out on top because Mark Andrews hit a shooting star to the back of Primate, who was climbing back into the ring after doing some shenaniganery running. Because, obviously, once you're held outside the ring, you need to get back in. And then Mark Andrews did the shooting star fall to pieces, whatever he calls it. I believe that's the WWE name for it. Don't at me, this is an indie podcast. And yeah, basically rolls Primate over from his back onto his front for the free. This was a quicker match than I thought it'd be, I'm not going to lie, but it still was pretty hard hitting and full force action. And
does hammer home my point as well, that heels can do high fly moves, but they have to specifically be to the back, because that is the coward's way of doing a high flying move.
Are you sure about that? Because we will talk about that a little bit later.
Any Fun Police over the grizzled young veterans. Now, I was getting all these texts from you throughout this show, and when the line came in that Gibbo has taken Jim Smallman hostage, I imagined this one was complete shenanigans, Kyle.
I think the opening segment was a lot more shenanigans because, for those who were there, I'm still going to need someone to explain it to me, because part of me still didn't know what was going on. What we get at the very top of this match is Chief Deputy Dunn coming out with his megaphone, and I believe a walkie-talkie, but the same way that they do the finger guns. And then all you hear is Santos's voice, along with the audio of a helicopter whirring in the background, saying that he has eyes on the suspect. So basically...
This was a sting. This was a police sting.
Yeah, so both of these guys are basically trying to, take out the AFP. And then Gibbo takes Jim hostage. And then Santos' major issue is whether he should shoot Jim. And the best part of this whole thing, to me, was Santos just saying he's got 2 weeks before he retires.
Which is genuinely like every Lethal Weapon / McBain thing ever. Is like, my God, he has 2 weeks left until... If they don't end Unboxing with Santos shooting Jim Smallman, be like, what a shame. He only had 1 hour left until retirement.
It is genuinely all I need. Fun match. Again, felt like a quick one. But James Drake got pinned, once again. And it just feels like grizzled young veterans... There's some dissension there, because every time James Drake's getting pinned, and...
There's been dissension for like a year and a half. Every time they've had a match, there's been dissension, apart from the time they won the belts earlier this year.
Yeah, but it's weird, because Drake gets pinned. It almost seems like Gibson's giving up on him, because he seems to blame JD and then starts to walk out on him.
Mike, what do you think? I think, when it comes to Progress, I think it is time to split up the Grizzled Young Veterans, because they've literally done everything they can.
Yeah, I agree. What more? I don't know how much more they offer, really. And
yeah,
Jim Drake has never had the chance to be that singles wrestler, really, in Progress. So,
I forgot to mention this. Sorry to cut you off, Mike. In Gibson's promo as well, he said that they've been there since day one, and immediately I thought to myself, you have. James came through about 50 chapters later.
He was there. He was an apparition. He was there in spirit. It was like you, Kyle, so it was fine.
Yay, I have something in common with James Drake.
Proteus Championship, Paul Robinson defeated Chris Ridgway. He did a murder, apparently.
I will bluntly say this. I won't brutally say this, because it was brutal. This match was, to quote Riddy's nickname, hard as fuck. Stiff strikes, headbutts from Ridgway, basically remnant of the Shibata headbutt that almost paralysed him. Ridgway was rocked after it. Robbo was bleeding from it, but yet still Proteus champion, as he double stomps from the apron Ridgway's head through a chair that was set up outside the ring.
That sounds rough, to be honest.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, it was not my favourite moment of that match, was that ending. I think I sent this to you, Matty. There's a moment in this match which is, I think, one of the most unorthodox methods I've ever seen to getting out of the hold in my life. Robbo is basically wrapped himself around Ridgway's legs. Ridgway has backed into the ropes where the buckles are, starts climbing and just stomps Robbo down. And that, I think, was perhaps even more brutal, because it's a full force, kicky boy kicking you right to the floor.
I'm very intrigued on what they do at unboxing for the Proteus belt. Personally,
it could genuinely be anyone.
I could literally be anyone. Personally, my serious pick is Zack Sabre Jr. I just would love to see Robbo against Zack Sabre Jr. I reckon it'd be really, really good. 2 is, I've said before about how much I want to see a multi-man knockout submission match, like that video of them people doing group MMA, where it's just everyone battering everyone. I would love to see an 8-man scramble where it's submission or knockout.
Yeah, but I had a thought about that. I always wondered whether they would do multi-person, but then is it elimination? Is it first fall to a finish? Do you have to knock out everyone? Is this basically Battle Royal?
You blatantly have it as knockout, so it's literally last man standing. or last person standing. It's just like I want that. I want a full pub brawl in the middle of the ring.
I'm still waiting for the day that we get that Proteus title as an intergender match as well, because that Rumble was intergender.
Yeah, I would Robbo against Chevs. I'd be more than okay with as well. It'd be really, really great. I'm pretty sure she'd be upset that it's not Eddie Kingston, but we can pass through that. Right. Cara Noir over Ilya Dragunov. 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh boy, let's get going.
Right. Should me and Mike talk about our reservations first, or do you want to talk about the match first?
I think you two need to clear up exactly every single little issue, because this is a cathartic moment right now. You two, get your grievances out.
Right.
We'll listen in.
Right.
This is Deirdre now.
you are Deirdre in our eyes. And me and Mike both had the same thing of the fact that they breezed through the first 2 falls so quickly was bullshit. It seemed very lazy. It was very TNA.
Precise 3 minutes 47 to waste 2 falls.
Yeah. So, if you didn't know, Ilya Dragunov forfeited the first fall and then immediately won the second with the Torpedo Moscow. So, 3 minutes, 2 falls. For me, it just seems like there was rumours that Cara Noir was not 100%. Apparently he's been ill. He did cancel booking before this. So maybe they did just power through this because the match was going to be longer, but they decided to shorten it down. But for me, they could have done it where they both hit their big move straight away. One apiece, crowd's going mental. To have Ilya forfeit a fall and then win the second one in 3 minutes, I'm just not a fan of, Kyle.
Really? Because to me, being there in that moment and the story that these two have told, and by the end of it, it was almost perfect. It was more of a respect and an admiration thing. Ilya basically tapped out on himself to give Cara that first fall. And then, instead of the respect that both men have seemed to have, or the love and admiration as Twitter and Tumblr would probably have it, it was more of something that pissed off Cara. And the moment that Ilya realized that he'd fucked up, he was like, right, I need to get this back into the situation where it's a proper match. So Ilya getting the Torpedo Moscow within the next minute of that probably put everything back at ease, because it turned it more from the respect thing, and the admiration, into the actual match that everybody wanted, because they were like, okay, now these guys are going to have this brawl that we've expected.
Didn't everybody just expect that from the first point of the fact that this match was the 3rd match of the series? They've traded victories already. I just don't understand why they were this match went just short of 20 minutes. I just don't understand why you blow through 2 falls in the space of 4 minutes.
But a lot of us went into that thinking the exact same thing, and looking back at it now from actually being there, I think it was the right call, because you had the underlying story of the whole thing. And then on the 3rd fall, everything went balls to the wall. I saw moves from both of these men that I don't think I've seen in a long time. Or possibly even at all.
Is this a case of we have to see it to understand it, maybe?
I do think that words on paper, spoken word, or still images are not something that can define this match. I do think it is something that you have to watch, because every little moment that these two do, in the first fall, in the second fall, in the 3rd fall, when it almost looks like Ilya's going to give up at a time before getting a second wind, and then Cara gets his second wind. There's a moment in this match, and I don't want to spoil it too much, because this is something, again, that you should see. There's many moments in this match that every single time someone looks like they have it won. It's just about resiliency from the other person. Cara Noir, had his death clutch on Ilya Dragunov more times than I can actually remember him having it on another opponent. And every time Ilya tried breaking out of that, dropping his body weight onto Cara from the 2nd rope nonetheless, and he still locked it on. This was a match that started as a respect thing, but it turned more into, I want to say, a desperation thing to prove you are better than the other man.
Okay, I'll give it in 5 to 7 days. I'll give it a chance, and I'll see what it's saying. But just those two falls still baffle me, and I feel like
I'll just tie it up quickly. Then I'll just say Cara Noir gets the win after an admiration and respect thing from Ilya, who seems to have conceded in a weird way by whispering to Cara, "I'm sorry, I love you," after a kiss on the forehead, and there was a quick package pile driver, and almost unexpected due to how high progress are on Ilya, Cara got the win.
Do you reckon this might lead to a tag team, maybe? Of Cara?
That's what I've been hoping for unboxing for a long time.
Maybe we'll see that.
I know. Also, there's still respect there because Ilya's the one who raised Cara's hand post-match.
Fair enough. Progress Women's title. This was a huge shock. Like, I was...
Not for me.
When you text me, I was, like, shook that this happened, that Ginny defeated Mako.
I wanted it to happen, but I was genuinely so unsure that they were going to do it. Mako Satomura, transitional champion.
Yeah.
Words I did not think I'd be saying.
It's just very strange. Very, very strange. Like... Did they have Mako take the belt off Jordan because they needed someone that wasn't safe and wasn't NXT UK related but safe, so they could give it to Ginny? It's just... She was going to lose the belt sooner rather than later. I don't think Mako was going to have a very, very long reign at all. Mainly because she's not over here that often. But it just seems very strange. Very strange.
It's a massive grey area because we are not Progress like booking committee. We won't know the ins and outs of this. I mean, I might have been for NPS and Alexander Palace because that is still my dream card come to life.
Yes.
But it just feels odd. And I'm just going to go into the main detail of this. Mako had that match won. She hit Ginny with the Death Valley driver, which we all know finishes most matches for her. But she carried it on. She lifted Ginny's head before the 3, wanting to continue the onslaught. And that was to her detriment because Ginny kicked out of the frog splash.
And then rolled her up.
Immediately. Like, Mako got up and Ginny seized the opportunity. I don't like comparing things to other wrestling finishes, but do you remember the Over the Limit match from the very first one between CM Punk and Rey Mysterio, where Punk basically lays on Rey for a lax pin and Rey just rolls him up straight away? Yeah,
I've seen that a bunch of times where they lay back, like, with the back press and then they get rolled over into a crucifix and stuff.
That was basically what Ginny did. Well, she seized the moment.
Maybe we're going to get maybe in a series heel Miko in progress. I don't know. It's very, very interesting.
I think it's unorthodox as well because Ginny hit, I think, every move in her arsenal besides her version of a Rainmaker. She hit the Toucher Couture. She did her cool leg trap submission surfboard thing, which, in my opinion, looked a lot more brutal than it ever has done. But still, nothing beat Mako. So it's just that one moment of, I don't want to call it arrogance, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like I can beat her even further and I can still do this.
It's something definitely keep an eye on.
It also, we've got possibly more of this down the line because there seemed to be a shoving match at the end and Mako was not happy.
This is what I'm saying. Is there gonna be more Miko and Ginny stuff down the line? But we're just going to get into that now. We have many podcasts to do that, and we've got a lot to cover today. So let's talk about Timothy Thatcher in his terrifying Brock Lesnar cosplay, defeating Cassius Ohno.
I want those shorts.
These two just hit each other very, very hard, from what I heard.
It was hard hitting. It had some unexpected moves. And it had, I think, one of the quickest tap outs that I've seen since John Cena tapped out Chris Jericho to get him to join the SummerSlam team against the Nexus.
So yeah, like I've not really heard a lot about that Thatcher Ohno match. I've just heard that it was okay. That it wasn't. It might have been the weakest match on the show, perhaps.
I'm not gonna lie. They announced that match as one of the biggest draws, but as much as I like Ohno and Thatcher, they're just not my cup of tea most of the time. So going into it, I knew that I probably wasn't going to be the most overwhelmed with the match. It was a little bit underwhelmed because I've seen Ono against Sid Scala at one of the NXT tapings in a British Rounds match, and that was one of my favourite moments of the year. Last year I saw Thatcher versus Walter in perhaps my match of the year, and this felt more like a lukewarm cup of tea than a scalding hot one.
Right, let's quickly wrap things up. Progress World title, Eddie Dennis defeating David Starr, with Mandrews costing David Starr the win with a shooting star press to the back. A lot of speculation.
Not to the back, Matty. Not to the back.
Or was it to the front?
It was to the front, which is why I said sometimes heels don't do things to the back.
Fair enough. Is Starr, there's a lot of rumours going around that Starr is apparently done with Progress. The stuff online, he's one more round with a box emoji and him saying thank you to the Progress Ultras, and there's just a lot of rumours going around that Starr may be finishing up with the promotion, which would be a shocking move, Mike, if David Starr is done, but maybe not that surprising considering.
Yeah, it does seem weirdly being there, it was a last goodbye. There was no final bow, no massive speech, no nothing, just silence, applause, a seemingly tearful David Starr, and then that was it. He walked out.
It's just very, very strange, very, very weird feeling, weird rumour going around and all of that. But anyway, all in all, you said it was a really, really fun show. We roll on to Chapter 100 unboxing, which I'm very, very excited about. It's only 13 days away. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Eddie Dennis is still champion, and he said he's going to be at every show, so I'm assuming he'll be there.
So Eddie Dennis is going to face the question mark in a flag twister contest. So one match is pretty much squared off there. But in all seriousness, it sounded like a really, really interesting show. I'm very intrigued to watch that Cara Noir, Ilya Dragunov match and see whether my opinion still stands after watching it. But yes, thank you very much, Carl, for keeping us abreast of Chapter 99. This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low, low price. That low, low price is just £25. People, what a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, whatchamacallit, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to TWM, you sexy, sexy people, you get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at SquaredCircleBox.com. Fusion. They're now in New York. We thought it was last week, but now they're definitely in New York. We can confirm. As Injustice hold the ring hostage and attempt to hijack the show as they complain they were not in this year's Opera Cup. The thing is, though, did you notice this, Mike? That Jordan Oliver was complaining the mic wasn't on. He hit it, and then the mic was on. So it just made him look like an idiot.
People are like, stupid white boy.
King Mo interrupts them and made his way to ringside for his match. Injustice got in Mo's face. It looked like they were going to beat him down, but ACH turned up to make the save. Awkward.
And he's gone.
We then go into King Mo and ACH over Jordan Oliver and Kota Brazil. Dan Lambert, remember him off of Impact? Is on commentary. Injustice jump ACH to start the match. ACH and King Mo get some offense in, but then a Brazil Rana and drop kick, meaning Injustice use the numbers game. Big lariat from ACH lets King Mo get the hot tag. I did love this though, Mike, that Mo was like yeeting everyone everywhere, and Injustice are selling like death for all of his. He's just throwing these kids around.
I kept getting distracted by Dan Lambert neatly droning on about how much of a good MMA fighter that King Mo was.
Were you distracted just by lies? Is that what happened?
Yeah, there was like there's making
could have been
things in a fake sport, and then there's absolute bullshit.
He could have been a good MMA fighter. Brackets, he wasn't, BT dubs. But he's so bad. And just the fact they had these guys ragdoll and death cell.
I don't think King Mo's that bad in the ring.
It was stale. It was stale to me.
His, like, as soon as he got in the... ACH tagged him in at one point, and, like, he went to Atomic Drop, I think it was Jordan Oliver, and it was, like, the worst lift-up I've ever seen.
Jordan Oliver did have to literally jump about 2 feet in the air for that lift, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like he did the thing where, like the big pancake where you push him up and thing, but he put no lift on it and Cobra to literally propel himself into the air. But like some of his moves are right. He hits a splash and a kick combo. He then hits Brazil with a Doctor Bomb, which he does quite well, and then does the knee bar for the submission. This was passable.
Really? Was it?
I liked it anyway.
On the Injustice side, maybe.
MLW cameras then caught Gino Medina talking with someone backstage, and they were told that he just met with Conan, or a man in a cap whose face we couldn't see, and they both refused an interview. Then we get Lifestyles of the Dynastic. MJF's back.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard the gift train. He got them presents for Hanukkah / Christmas, which made me laugh. By the way,
my favourite part of is MJF is treating Hanukkah like it is bigger than Christmas because he's Jewish. He always seems so unimpressed whenever they correct him. I
do love that MJF is selling Hanukkah sweaters now on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he?
And then we got the biggest payoff in MLW's history as Richard Holiday finally got his giant AirPods.
What a sight of beauty.
I was hoping they'd be bigger.
Them to be bigger.
So, yeah, literally. I was hoping he'd hand over to Matt, and we'd just see Richard trying to struggle to put in a 6-foot-tall AirPod into his ear.
I wanted them to be so big that they could have been used in death matches like Share-Shot.
Holiday was disappointed because then he got MJF a junior version of him called Max Mini, which was so stupid.
It was amazing.
Mike messaged me with my favourite thing. He has the same haircut.
Like, exactly the same hair they had. It was perfect.
It was just, like, different colours because, yeah.
MJF was disappointed and Max Mini was kicked out, and Richard Holiday felt bad for his giant AirPods. But they are the best gift you could have that's not from Monrovia, to be fair. So, then we cut straight into the Opera Cup first round, Thatcher against Richard Holiday. However, Richard took out his AirPods, so you know this shit is serious.
I have a question.
Yes?
Did he take them out, or were they the big ones and he realised they actually couldn't fit?
No, they were in his ears as he made his entrance. It'd be funny if he's still sitting there struggling, going, no, wrestling time. I will deal with this later.
It'd be like an El Santo movie.
I would pay to see Richard Holiday in an El Santo
niche,
movie.
but still somehow not that niche.
I thought this was Holiday's best single showing I've seen so far.
I'd agree.
It's really, really good. Like, they back him up. He got a lot more offense than I thought he would against. I thought Thatcher would murder him. It would be like a really quick thing, but it was really, really good.
I thought Holiday was going to go over.
A butterfly backbreaker and a spine buster for a near fall. Holiday countered a superplex into a spinning neck breaker off the top for a near fall. Holiday trash talked and Thatcher put him in an arm bar, and he tapped straight away, which makes perfect sense for Holiday. Hey, look.
I was going to say, hang on, Matty, for one second, sorry.
I will hold on.
No, it's just like that's what I was on about earlier, like that quick tap out from Thatcher's armbar.
Yeah.
Just for a comparison for you guys.
it's like it makes no sense for Holliday to tap out immediately because he's a heel. So he'd be like, no pain for me. Hey, look, it's Alicia Ratoot off of Impact and the internet. She was backstage with Selena De La Renta, saying she tried to get an interview last week, but she's really happy because she's Canadian. She's just really polite and happy. But Selena basically said, "I don't want to talk to you. Get out of my face, please." Alicia starts to speak. Gino Medina walks by, and Selena dropped everything and walked off with him. So we're going to get some sort of bidding war between Conan, because Conan and Selena between them are trying to buy every Mexican wrestler ever. I can't wait for them.
Carissa wouldn't have had those problems though.
I can't wait for the bidding war for them to get Dave the Clown.
Hey, we're booking Dave the Clown.
we're going to be the big players in MLW now, and we book Dave the Clown.
You guys do that, and I will officially jump out my window.
Mance Warner says the Type A deathmatch didn't happen because Havoc was a big old bitch. I love that as a reason for a match not happening, a big bait and switch. What happened? Well, Jimmy Havoc's a big old bitch. That's
it's one way to distract things, isn't it?
He challenged Havoc to a blindfold match, saying again that their feud is eye for an eye, something. We then hear from the Von Erichs, who are moaning to their dad. I put dads, they've only got one. They were talking about filthy Tom Lawler, and Kevin said everything boils down to money, and when they find him in the ring, the brothers should do what feels right. Which sounds like they're not going to fight. That sounds. We will kiss him.
I think a key point to this as well was they said Tom's pissed at them because they apparently want the main gold, but then both of them were just like, nah, we want the tag belts. We're not about that.
It's just,
So Tom Lawler's pissed at them for no reason.
It's just ridiculous. I got distracted, by the way, because we're getting loads of DMs from very random people on TWM right now. It's really odd. We're involved in the world's most bizarre group chat. We then hear from Contra, who have a propaganda video saying they've dropped Ikiro Kwon in Japan on a mission. We're not seeing him again.
Spoiler alert, he's injured.
Oh.
Dropped him off into a hospital.
Hopefully not to drop off to the Impact doctors, because they are the worst.
The Swangler.
Samuel says soldiers are coming from all corners of the world. And then Shima says that Strong Hearts will defeat Contra, not in Japanese style, but hybrid style. And all I was thinking was, look at Irie. Look at his happy face.
I didn't realise it was Irie until a little bit later, and then I was just like, I have not seen Irie without spiky hair ever.
You madam, are a racist.
How can you forget that smile?
Look at it.
I just wasn't paying attention. I think I fast-forwarded every promo because I was watching this on a time frame of needing to go back to work for my break.
Don't worry, I did the same thing apart from seeing Irie's face. Main event, Brian Pillman over TJP in the Opera Cup first round. This was a really good match.
Very technical match, which was really good to see Brian Pillman have such a high level match with somebody like TJP.
Yes, definitely. Hold for hold, TJP makes a sharpshooter into a lovely deathlock and then works the arm of Pillman, take control. He misses a senton, then Pillman fights back. The story was Pillman kept going for his arm trap neck breaker, but TJP kept countering it. He hits a superflex and a brainbuster for a near fall. Locks in the TJP clutch, but Pillman gets the ropes. Pillman then knees him and hits the arm trap neck breaker for the win. Simple, to the point, just really, really good. Recommend it. It was a pretty solid episode of Fusion this week.
It's almost like it was the first episode from a taping loop.
It is.
You wouldn't believe it.
Give it 8 weeks and watch the quality massively dwindle.
This taping also made me realise I was pronouncing Alicia Ratoot's name wrong because I've never heard it until today.
I thought she was the child of the famous social network tout. I thought she was just a tout.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. I've used that gimmick about 3 times on different podcasts. Misteltour, Attack Pro Wrestling, go around the UK with their 4-date tour, covering all the wrestles and having all of the fun. I'm going to one of them. Mike and Kyle are going to some of them, if not all of them.
It is all of them.
All of them. So we're going to talk about the matches that have been announced so far. Starts off tonight, as this goes out, at the Dome in Tufnell Park. Before I actually... Well, no, I'm going to do it differently. Instead of running through each one. From the London card so far, Kyle, what is the match you're most looking forward to?
all of them because Attack Pro Wrestling is my spiritual home.
Pick one. Pick a side, you coward.
I will burn down anyone who makes me choose anything to do with Attack Pro Wrestling. No, genuinely, I will already say that I am probably looking forward to having Chris Ridgway back in Attack the most.
Yep, he's got Elijah Robbie X and Danny Luna. Well done, you made Mike fall asleep.
Hey, I like Chris Ridgway, and he's festive.
So do I.
Christmas. He will be Christmas Ridgway.
He's facing Elijah Robbie X and Danny Luna in a 4-way. Michael! Is he awake yet? There we go.
Yes.
What match are you most looking forward to from the London portion of Misteltour?
I'm going to go with the 0121 versus the Greedy Souls.
That is something I'm very interested with, yeah.
Yeah, Brenda White and Danny Jones now have a tag name, which is cool. I think that'll be a really, really good match as well.
I'm hoping that they do what they did at the last show, and it's a tag title match, and we just don't know it yet.
Oh, maybe. The thing is, though, if Joe ends up being at the show where the 0121 win the belts and then the show where they lose the belts, I don't think Joe could handle that after this week if he's at the Dome and watches the 0121 lose the Attack Pro titles.
I've just got to Joe for everything.
I've just got to put a special shout out to the match, but I know if Leah was there, she'd have a hard time picking an allegiance because it's Nico versus Chuck Mambo.
That's the match I'm looking forward to seeing. I reckon that's going to be really, really good.
We also don't know whether it's going to be for the 24/7 title, but it probably is because, as Mike will always remind me, the 24/7 title is up for grabs at any time. But under Kid Lykos's rules, it's only in the ring.
So,
would it happen if, maybe they're in a bull ring? Is this specifically a wrestling ring or just a ring?
Specifically the Attack Pro. Well, you need to have an Attack Pro official there.
Okay.
Was it always stated that it had to be in an Attack Pro ring, though? I know it was the Attack Pro official, so
I just want to know
if you can just imagine someone is dragging Chris Roberts around with me.
If I turn up to the Birmingham Bull Ring when the Attack Pro 24/7 champion's there and bring an official with me, could I pin them and become champion?
I'm gonna say this: you can take Pete Dunne instead.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
From Birmingham.
So, by proxy, he's probably been a referee.
If I pin someone on an anus, does that count?
No.
Okay. I love it. You just went, no. You also got Lost Boys against Ring Crew Express. Obviously, Ring Crew Express fresh off their suspected briefcase hanging above the ring match victory. Lost Boys doing bits as well. You've got the grudge match between Los Federales Santos Jr. and Connor Mills, and the main event of Cara Noir and Mustache Mountain versus the Cabal. But in all fairness, with Mustache Mountain, we have no idea if it's going to be them two or not.
There always seems to be something that keeps one of them from appearing.
One of them could pull out sometimes before this goes out.
Tyler Bate will be on NXT tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
Then we go to Cheltenham. Only one match has been announced for that, and that is it's basically doing the old house show circuit before they get to the big pay-per-view. You got the Cabal going up against Wild Boar and Cara Noir, and then we get to Cardiff, which is the big boy, which is the Wrestle Kingdom of this whole thing, and 3 matches
the Attackio Dome
have been announced for this. You got Nico Angelo testing his might against Attack Pro Wrestling original Mark Andrews. That match should slap and slap hard.
That's the match.
Mike and I have been wanting this match for we've been wanting this for a whole year, and you can tell by the fact that we are trying to talk over each other just how much we're excited for this.
Yes, basically.
I've the other most intriguing one is the blow off between Elijah and LK Messenger.
He will get his comeuppance, will Elijah?
Yes, this is when you don't throw acid in people's faces.
Dan's been making a big point of that. Dan Carey, not usual TWM Dan. Hi Dan.
We have several. We know several Dans.
We don't know whether you're actually listening to us today, Mr. Carey, because we don't know what you listen to anymore.
That's like an emotional plea, like he's gone missing.
Well, unless we're berating him, he doesn't listen, apparently.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, Dan, you penis. Right now he's listening. There we go.
Yeah, but he's been clamouring on about making this a regular Attack Pro faithful of the Misteltour variety. No holds barred.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Anyways,
yeah,
we've not got one, and we tend to always get one, don't we? So
unless Federales and Mills become snow holes barred. That's the only other one it would be, I would say.
Yeah.
And then they got the small matter of Cara Noir finally getting his tag title match against MK Ultra, which probably is going to be Cara winning the belt, one would assume.
Cara debuted in Cardiff, could win the title in Cardiff. Cardiff gets everything Swan related.
And then the Raw after Mania, the Hangover show, the Bristol show, as a small matter of Mustache Man against the Greedy Souls, which again should absolutely slap.
I cannot wait to see Trent Seven hungover for this.
Just constantly rolling towards freedom. I do believe tickets are still available if you want to get down to either London, Cardiff, or Bristol. Are they all?
No, just London and Cardiff.
Just London and Cardiff. So if you want to get to London or Cardiff, tickets are still available. Go and get them. I would say right now, but the show is probably literally started as you're listening to this.
You can probably still get Cardiff tickets, if they're on sale by the time that this goes out, because I think they have a very minimal amount left at this point of recording.
Go to Cardiff, watch Attack Pro Wrestling. It is reet good.
It's one of those things as well. I don't think, if you're looking for more reasons to come, that they are going to announce more matches unless big things happen on the days before and they need to announce it for the later dates. So buy tickets now and enjoy the shows, otherwise you will miss out.
The title match will be worth everything. If you know how Attack works, basically the year is a season, bad stuff happens, it normally ends with good stuff.
And if you're debating doing it because of a commute as well, there are many people making this journey.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
There was also some other big shows this past weekend that we got to watch courtesy of our friends at Fight TV, and we thank them very, very much for that. Cage of Death. I watched that. That was good. Problem was as well, it's a shame. I need to rewatch it. I know they've re-upped the video now, but the sound was really messed up on the live broadcast. To the point by the end of it, I think the sound was a minute ahead of the video. It was...
Yeah, it was that annoying. I didn't even make it through the first match.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the match they showed half of by accident.
I would suggest watching it now that it's been re-upped, because I did it with the re-upload because I got it on the replays. Yeah,
no, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Silver and Claxton in a CZW Rules match was really, really good. Young, Dumb and Broke, their 6-man with Jimmy Rave, Azrael and Steve Mack was really, really good. Then the Ava of Anthony Green against Alex Reynolds and Mark Sterling was really, really good as well. A lot of really, really good stuff. The thing I wasn't a big fan of, AR Fox defeated Jordan Oliver for the Wired title. And Oliver was 4 days away from being the longest reigning Wired champion of all time. And Fox doesn't need... Was it 2 days? Oh, even worse.
2 days, which genuinely annoys me.
Because AR Fox doesn't need the belt at all. It's just baffled me why they gave AR Fox the belt. The Rep defeated Bear Country in a okay match. It was okay. Joe Gacy over Tremont. Obviously, this match was if Joe Gacy wins, DJ Hyde is fired. And the whole thing of Gacy asking Tremont to lay down to get rid of DJ Hyde. However, poor CZW, they had such a bad rap on this because at one point an alarm went off during this match and did not stop for the whole match and for another 5 minutes after that match. It's just disappointing. DJ Hyde's wife got involved, Valentina got involved, and then Gacy won with the discus lariat. Alex Shelley turned up, which was very random. And he basically challenged Joe Gacy. They did show the Blake Statlander match. It was good, but it was for a title belt that no one brought out, and that was baffling. And then we get to Cage of Death, which obviously I had a vested interest in because my homegirl, Casey Catal, was obviously seconding her husband, Brandon Kirk. It was a decent Cage of Death. It was a decent Cage of Death. They all go through panes of glass. There's plunder falling through stuff. Casey climbed the cage in 4-inch heels because she's insane, and took what she said was the worst bump she's ever taken, which was through some barbed wire off the cage. Kirk goes for it. What do you say? The question mark took it in 8-inch heels off of 2 cages.
I could have only enjoyed it if it was a 630.
Yeah, that is true. Kirk went for a flaming board, glass and barbed wire, and kicked out at 1, which was just ridiculous. Then Lloyd hits an assault driver for a pane of glass for the win. If you like the Cage of Death, it's probably worth a casual watch, something to not massively go out of your way for. I'd personally go watch Night of Infamy. Out of the 2 things on Fight at the moment, that was probably a enjoyable show. But I will recheck it with the sound properly sorted. But I digress. I don't know why I did this, Michael, but I watched Final Battle.
I watched it as well.
And
because we needed someone besides Nathan to talk about it.
And I'm not going to watch the weekly product. You can get fucked if I'm doing that. But this actually wasn't that bad. It was pretty good.
It was. The booking I thought was terrible and very obvious of who's staying and who's going, but as a show, it was fine. I actually enjoyed some of the matches.
You had Mexi Blood over Villain Enterprises. It was very weird having Brody King on commentary acting like a normal guy. He was meant to be this big monster. It was just strange. The double 21 plex 619 combo from Mexi Blood was really, really cool. Actually, should I go for every match? And then, Mike, you can tell me the people that are rumoured or have confirmed to have left Ring of Honor. So, Mexi Blood and Villain Enterprises.
Marty Skull, believing to have left. Bandito, currently question mark.
He's currently the question mark?
He's potentially going to be the question mark too.
Mark Haskins over Bully Ray. Haskins deserves better than this. I'm sorry. It's just he deserves
better to be in that shithole of a company.
It's just Bully batters Haskins for literally the entire match because putting young talent over.
It feels weird, as well. Haskins constantly mentions how he wants to wrestle the Progress guys as well, but can't do to companies.
Yeah, meanwhile, he's got to have a hardcore match with Bully fucking Ray when he should be wrestling the likes of Dragon Lee and Shane Taylor and Jonathan Gresham. Just idiots. Bully Ray did yeet a barbed wire board at Vicky Haskins, which you never do because you don't fuck with Vicky Haskins. She will kill you.
She will get a cheese grater to your cock.
Yes, she will. Bully goes for a table and double stomp for the win. My favourite match of the entire show was Alex Shelley over Colt Cabana. It was really good. Really, really good. By the way, yeah.
Favorite match was the opener.
Mark Haskins and Bully Ray, no one's leaving there. Alex Shelley and Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana confirmed left now.
Maria Manic over Angelina Love. Manic murdered Love, which is exactly what should happen. She also murdered alleged wrestler Mandy Leon.
She's more of a spokesperson now, isn't she, Mandy Leon, for Quagmire Ribs?
For Quagmire Ribs and also that hunting company.
Mental hunting company.
Can I just say, I'm living for this glossary of who's facted, who isn't.
Everybody's staying here.
Yes,
I believe.
Also, spoiler, because we're not going to talk about Ring of Honor. You know who Maria Manic's next feud is with?
Oh, I do. I do indeed.
Kyle, are you aware of who Maria Manic's feuding with next?
No. Tell me now.
Bully Ray.
Oh, Lord.
Because he came to the aid of the Allure and put her through a table. So we're getting Manic over Bully Ray. Because Ring of Honor, it's where wrestling matters.
You were going to say because real life, because obviously outside of a ring stuff.
If this ends with Teddy Hart versus Bully Ray, I may have to watch Ring of Honor again then. Ring of Honor TV title, Dragon Lee over Shane Taylor. This is okay, it had too many kickouts. It was fine. Dragon Lee's the TV champion.
The Desdugadora as well from Dragon Lee to finish the match really did not look great.
Also, Dragon Lee using the chain that Taylor brought in and him being the face just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, especially with Shane Taylor being the one that's left as well.
Yep. And is Dragon Lee on the contract still?
He was on the tapings, and with what they do, I would assume he is at least signed to a few dates, potentially not signed a contract as such.
Ring of Honor tag team titles, Lethal and Gresham defeat the Briscoes, and somewhere Nathan explodes. It was weird seeing Lethal and Gresham as heels, but it did work. And Lethal rolled up Jay with the tights. Anyone leaving in this match?
There's a question mark next to the Briscoes, as it stands.
My God, the question mark.
I believe they have re-signed.
The question mark family grows ever bigger. Finally, PCO over Rush for the Ring of Honor title. 51-year-old PCO is champ. Jesus Christ.
It's Matthew, it's Rush, not Rush.
In Ring of Honor, it's Rush.
Your pronunciations of wrestling names. First Miko, not Mako, and now this. You are a debacle.
No, I got Mako right earlier, and I'm not calling him Rush for Ring of Honor. He's Rush.
I think for
Ring of Honor call him something doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, PCO's champion, but it is at least over with the crowd. So, yeah.
The whole thing they did in this match was just ridiculous.
Yeah. PCO nearly kills himself several times. They fight over a hearse. ROH! ROH! Destro turned up and no one knew who he was. He got no reaction. He shocked PCO with the car batteries. He chokeslammed Rush on the hearse. We get doors, and Ring of Honor is now every other indie, but at least GCW is fun to watch. Chokeslam and a PCO salt for a table because Ring of Honor is where wrestling matters. We're not watching Ring of Honor weekly ever again. Uprising, quickly before we wrap things up. The show was pretty good. The main thing we need to talk about is, of course, the cowardly and unprovoked attack from Minoru Suzuki and Curtis Chapman. Now, RevPro have got history with unprovoked, unnecessary attacks post matches, and they are letting this carry on in the York Hall.
It's an unsafe working environment.
How dare Minoru Suzuki, a man we used to love and respect, and if he hears this, a man we still love and respect, please don't hurt our families, attacking, in my eyes, wrestling's Princess Diana in Curtis Chapman.
He's like 7 Princess Dianas.
All in a minibus, hurtling towards freedom.
I will never stand anyone but wears a cape because I am Edna mode. No capes!
He's the king of capes. He's the man of Suzuki Kurt Gun, and this was uncalled for. Oku defeated Pac, which was a huge shock.
Yeah, they built him incredibly well. When you look at his first match of 2019 was a losing effort to El Fantasma, and it slowly built through the year. Eventually, with him getting the title match at York Hall at Summer Sizzler, which he lost. He then goes on to win the J Cup, pinning El Fantasmo in the final. He's gone and beaten Pac, who he lost to back at the start of the year.
We even saw a massive rub in the middle of the year with him teaming with Liger.
Yeah, this is true.
Slowly but surely, this is the only thing really RevPro have done really, really well this year, and I will developed him along slowly.
I will say, post Bodum incident, which we used in jest earlier, and then post buying Southside, RevPro they're building a pretty decent roster. Like I said, keep having Pretty Deadly around. Having women's matches is on their fucking main shows.
Yeah, Giselle Shaw is on VF, like in RevPro.
Yeah, I think this is now our home company, RevPro. Like, she seems to be doing less attack and sticking with RevPro, which is good for her, I guess. And yeah, it's really good. Apparently El Fantasma and TJP was really, really good as well. And of course, the Great O'Khan is still one half of the British Tag Team Champion. So everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth.
Except for the losers.
Final thing to wrap up.
One little thing.
Yeah?
In the Suzuki Gun LIJ match, Sonata pinned Zack Sabre Jr. with a European clutch as well. So a little bit of storytelling going into the Wrestle Kingdom match.
Yes, obviously that on January 4th or 5th. I can't remember which day it is, 5th. Thing to wrap up. Friend of the show. Wonderful human being. Alley Cat. she's coming over to the UK in spring, which is tidy. So, hello, Riptide, Attack, Progress, RevPro.
She'll be based in Cardiff, so Attack seems almost a given.
And not forgetting Eddie Kingston's going to be over from, I think it's most of February and March as well.
Yeah, so
he won't be based in Cardiff, so Attack might not be a given.
You know where he'll be based? Yonkers! Yonkers, which is just outside Dunstable, just in case you didn't know. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at TWM Wrestle. Please get in touch with us, talk to us, send us things, enjoy us, witness us. Subscribe, leave a rating and review, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Listen to us on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Acast, TuneIn, YouTube, all that good stuff. TWM.news, check out all the articles, all the stuff and things that are going on. You can check out the Progress Chapter 99 review from Day right now at TWM.news. Michael, social media.
I'm going to say go and follow @_3 of clubs. Jim Lee is the Attack ring announcer. He loves this time of year. He makes Misteltour. Don't give him a follow and tell him you love him.
Kyle.
Go follow the Jehovah's Witnesses, but not Mike's door during the recording of it.
Don't follow them. They will follow you first.
But instead, just go follow somebody really cool. Be cool. I gave him all the shout, but he's out of OTT, and yet somehow still wrestled on their card because, well, logic is dead to the world, but it's still funny.
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to. I'm going to make sure I get her Twitter 100% because we had a lovely, hilarious conversation post Cage of Death, just being like, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Got a pie to go to later on. Just being very casual about a person that fell 10 feet previously through a barbed wire table. Go follow Casey Catal, at CaseyKirk_. We ended up having a 10-minute conversation about our pets post Cage of Death, which was lovely. This has been the Indie Wrestling Show. Go support your local wrestling. We're at Attack right now, cheering the faces, booing the heels, and if Curtis Chapman's there, worshipping the ground he fucking walks on.
And missing Chris Brooks.
Who did quite well in the old DDT tournament thing, so well done to him.
I'm booing who I shouldn't because I don't conform.
We are not here next week. Because it's Christmas and we're taking that time off. So
I like you, but I'm not Christmas Day.
Yes.
So fuck yourself.
So listen to any TWMEs, and one of us or all of us will be on the big Twitch stream, Twitchmas on December 28th on twitch.tv/TWM Wrestle. Thank you, please. Thank you for listening. I love you. Bye.